What's up, people? Once again, it's time for another intro to my, once again, real life superhero quote unquote fan page. And this time on this, actually this is the same intro as the last one. Only this time this is the same intro with a quote unquote different quote unquote costume. This is one of both my revealing comic book list, comic books and working class comic books list. My t-shirt and skinny jeans, gloves with or without, gloves with quote unquote COVID mask on. Once again, this is another intro to my various classic rock and roll, hip, retro, classic and modern rock and roll, hip hop video reviews, rants, and favorite best lists, etc. Another Doug rants, current and Doug's current past social events type quote unquote video. And once again, I'm thinking about it, various comic book, novel, movie, animation, video game reviews in quote unquote pretty much the same as everything else, only this time in costume for this exclusive page, but I'm thinking about uploading it to other channels too. So yeah, with that being said, this time I'm using It Doesn't Matter in both of the quote unquote intros. So with that being said, let's get started right now.
Never give up. Hey everybody, it's now time for my all-time favorite and best Bleach sagas and story arcs in order from best to worst, best to least greatest. So with that being said, as you can see by the picture here, the very first saga, my opinion, oh yeah, actually for number 1 and 2, number 1 and 2 is the Soul Society Rescue Rukia arc, and number 2 is the Espada Arrancar arc. Let's start off with number 1, the Soul Society. Even though I think the Espada Arrancar arc was bigger and better, the Soul Society arc happened in 2007, which was Adult Swim and one of Cartoon Network's greatest years, and was Bleach's greatest years. That is Bleach in its prime. 2007, Cartoon Network, Adult Swim were the greatest things that year. This was the year of Naruto, Bleach, and Ben 10, and for Nickelodeon, Avatar, The Last Airbender, and the Boondocks. These are 4 of the big shows I think of when I think the 2000s decades. And this was in 2007. This is when Adult Swim was better than Cartoon Network, even though I always preferred and liked Cartoon Network more. This was when Adult Swim was better. They were killing it. And this saga, one guy said in the comment section, this saga laid down the groundwork for what the rest of the series would be. And this saga was also a turning point in the series. The first saga, the introductory Soul Society arc, that was mostly a Ghostbusters, Scooby-Doo style of plot. Catch and kill the Hollows. This saga right here was more action oriented, with where Ichigo and the gang encountered other Soul Reapers with powers similar to their own, like Renji, Boyaka, Okuchiki, the first 2, Akaku, Madara, Kenpachi, Zaraki, Toshiro, and Rangiku, and many more. Those are my top favorites. And then, so yeah, and they had that. Well, I used the opening from the first season, but they had that awesome opening. They had that awesome, iconic opening. The second opening is not the best, but it's the most iconic. The Aqua Times Alone's opening from Espada Arrancar, in my opinion, is the best. This arc also reminds me of and the main antagonist of Aizen was introduced here. This arc, storyline wise, it reminds me of, I don't think the writer was thinking about this when he was writing this, Taikubo. I don't think he was thinking about this, but this arc reminds me of the video games. The storyline, the video games, Mortal Kombat 2 and Mortal Kombat 4, minus the tournament plot for Mortal Kombat 2, played out in anime television form. So yeah, Yeah, and I love the whole adventure. Ichigo, Chad, Uryu, Orihime, in the Serite. I think that's what it's called. Going through all these places in the Serite, and encountering all of these boss battles, like an action adventure RPG video game. So yeah, that was the Soul Society. Next is the much superior number 2, Espada Arrancar. This saga was larger, bigger, badder, and better, and is probably the best and greatest Bleach saga. Reason it's in the number 2 spot is that when this saga happened, this was Bleach at its peak, but this was the dark ages of Cartoon Network, and this was the dark ages of Cartoon Network and Adult Swim, and this arc kept being interrupted by hiatuses and worse, a filler arc involving ninjas and princesses, which would later lead to the cancellation of the show, and the show will come back soon. But yeah, this arc right here was even bigger and badder. It introduced us to a new group of Soul Reapers called the Visors, who were just like Ichigo. It was just like the regular Soul Reapers, except these people wear street clothes instead of the iconic martial arts Aikido attire. Then you got who else? Oh yeah, and then of course the next group of people introduced the main antagonist, the Arrancar Espada. I think the Arrancar is their English term and Espada is their Japanese term. I like the Japanese one better, the Espada, but I'd say Espada Arrancar arc, where they introduce the greatest character in the Bleach franchise, and not only one of the greatest characters in the Bleach franchise, but one of the best characters in anime period, Grim Jow Jakums, and I love his rivalry and fight trilogy with Ichigo, which in my opinion is some of the best and most underrated, even better than the iconic Naruto versus Sasuke anthology series. And Grim Jow is the edgelord of the series. Then you have the others, Okiora, and Yanni. Then Kaioi Star. These are my favorites of the Arrancar Espadas. And besides Aizen, the overall main antagonist. Yeah, this was the peak. Like I said, this was the peak of Bleach. After this, Bleach would go downhill. This saga reminds me of Yu Yu Hakusho's Chapter Black. Yu Yu Hakusho's Chapter Black saga. A super large version of their Dark Tournament story arc in length, but without the Dark Tournament element. A larger, superior version of their Rescue Yukina arc with small elements of their Four Saint Beast arcs. These sagas are bigger and badder, but I think Yu Yu Hakusho's is superior. Even though I find Bleach as a whole to be a much better series than Yu Yu Hakusho, but I find Yu Yu Hakusho to be darker, scarier, creepier, and more exciting. What else about Bleach and elements of Ronin Warriors and Shirato Legend of the Heavenly Spear, which in my opinion are two of the biggest inspirations for this show right here. This was the peak of Bleach. Number 3 is Number 3 is the Fullbringers 1000 War story arc, story arc like that. This is storyline wise. This is the best Bleach saga of all, Bleach saga and story arc of all time. However, it's in the number 3 spot because the previous 2 sagas were so awesome and epic. It's hard to top those. And while this saga is better storyline wise, it wasn't as exciting. But it is the most complex. It starts off with Ichigo losing his powers, living a normal life, and then going through some ordeal to get them back, and then getting a super awesome brand new form Foreman dealing with a new group of antagonists called the Fullbringers. This is also the most complex. When it comes to the storylines, Bleach is for the most part simplistic. It's the characters' backstories, origins, and their superpowers that makes it complex. The storyline for Bleach is actually pretty simplistic and straightforward compared to other mangas and animes. So yeah, that's why it's here in this spot. 4 is the Bleach Memories of Nobody animated film. What a gigantic anime event this was, anime movie event this was when it aired on Adult Swim. I remember watching it, and I have great nostalgia watching it in the late 2000s on Adult Swim. It's in this spot because as awesome as it is, it's not really all that memorable. It's a filler movie with little to no impact on the actual series, but it's one of the best story arcs. 5 is the live action. Yeah, just like Dragon Ball Evolution, we cross over to the live action universe. Bleach 2018, probably the best anime manga live action adaptation of all time. This movie right here is an exact replica of the Soul Society introductory arc of Bleach, a live action replica of the anime and manga, and proving that they say is wrong that anime can be adapted into live action as long as you care and are passionate about what you're doing. Passionate about, love everything about this. The story, action, music had its own unique soundtrack separate from the anime. A great cast. There were a couple of issues here, mostly with the acting from the female characters, particularly Rukia, but phenomenal adaptation. It's right here in the 5th spot because just like Dragon Ball Evolution with my Dragon Ball's favorite Dragon Ball Saga, the story arc review, is incomplete. This was set up to be a trilogy. An anthology of films. There was more story to tell. And that's the only problem I had with this film. Everything on screen, for the most part, was good. It's the behind-the-scenes drama and poor business decision making that is the issues I have with this film. This film right here. What about this film? Oh yeah, this movie right here. They chose to release it worldwide in Japan, then in select theater marketplaces, and finally on Netflix here in America. Where I think if they would have released it worldwide in Japan and worldwide here in America, you would have took it more at the box office. And I think the Bleach fans, I know I would have packed the theaters to see this movie, and this movie would have pumped the crap out of the Venom 2018 film, which this film would have went up against had it gone to theaters, and it would have gave the Goosebumps and Predator movie a run for their money. It would have been one of the biggest things of 2018, just like the Avengers Infinity War, which I was actually more excited for this than I was Avengers Infinity War that year, and was a little disappointed that it was on a Netflix. I was looking forward to this theatrical event right here. So yeah, Bleach 2018, what a phenomenal movie this was. But it's right here in the 5th spot because it's poor decision making and terrible box office results. 6 is the filler arc, the Bounce Saga, the Bleach Bounce Saga. And by the way, Memories of Nobody is the only animated movie of Bleach I've seen, so the other ones won't appear here in this list. I may redo it in the future after I see those other ones, but right now, yeah, those other ones won't appear. So number 6 is the Bounce arc. Yeah, this arc was weak after the Red Hot Soul Society arc, and this arc aired during the dark ages of Cartoon Network and Adult Swim. It wouldn't get good again. The show wouldn't get good again until the Arrancar Espada arc. This arc was okay, but it was long and excessive, multiple episodes and storylines and characters you don't care about. It got good when you got to the final bosses, the final bosses, the blonde hair and the main antagonist himself, Gene. When we got to them, but other than that, yeah, this was weak right here. 7 and 7 and 8 are the rest of the Bleach filler arcs. I remember one involving a ninja and a princess. I tuned out of Bleach numerous times because of these arcs. Especially one which interrupted the awesome Espada Arrancar arc and would later cause the show to be canceled. Because they had to, because the anime can't get ahead of the manga, so they had to keep creating storylines. And the show eventually just had to be canceled. Luckily, they're coming back. But yeah, these are the best Bleach sagas from best to worst. Yeah, this was, like I said, this was a reintroduction to Bleach, to various Bleach videos, reviews, etc. I thought this video right here was the perfect introduction, just like with Dragon Ball and Naruto. You don't want to hear the rest of the music? Turn the video off right now.